Welcome back, everyone. The party sits at the end of the chamber of this mysterious icy tomb slash sarcophagus slash temple. Deep beneath the frozen river in which they were trying to cross, stumbling upon the crystal proposed to be the solution to their grumbling Von Salath ice volcano problem. Gathered around, a rumble has happened as you've identified some of the items found within the treasure stores of this tomb and temple. What would you like to do?
So, for clarification reasons, how high up is that stone that is in his
Probably over 20 foot-ish.
Over 20 foot-ish, okay.
Do we have any ways of getting to the stone, or should we prepare for whatever that is that's screaming down the hallway? What's exactly the plan here?
Hey, Bree, do you still have your dad's, grappling hook?
That I do. Handy dandy, pass through the family.
I'm gonna point to the top of the skull. I can toss it up there for you.
Oh,
Before
good.
we do that, we should make sure that it's not trapped. Keep
Gonna
an
have
eye
to get
on
up there to... Probably gonna have to get up there to see it, too.
Well, before... So he's gonna walk up to the base of the skull, and Asher's gonna pop Detect Magic to just look around to see if there's any glyphs, any...
It doesn't appear to be anything like that. There is a slight magical essence radiating off of the crystal itself.
Looks like the only thing magical up there is the crystal, so... Go ahead, I guess, Aurelia.
Guess I can check it out.
Everyone's gonna be swinging the hook, ready to let loose up there.
Okay, how are you
That's
doing
a
that?
27. 27 on a trap, check for traps.
Yep, doesn't appear to be any.
Okay, I'll make my way up.
Sure.
With my noodle arms.
I mean, I can try to climb up there and you can climb on. I can carry you up.
So before you get to that point, you have to actually throw it up there to get it hooked on. Yep.
And I'm gonna toss him out up there.
Toss him. Push me.
What would you like that to be?
Let's just go with a strength. That sounds about right. Typically, throw things are kind of like a strength. There's an element of dexterity involved in that as well, but we'll just.
Could it be a little bit of can it be a little bit of athletics? You know.
Yeah, it can be an athletics check. Sure.
All right.
Get that shot put action or whatever that would be. I don't know if you want to shot put
20?
a.
It's 22.
22. As you toss it up there, after a few spins, it lands over on the other side, kind of where the cheek, if it had flesh, would be, and then as you kind of pull it back down, it slides and hooks in kind of at the inset of the cheekbone and latches on in there, and it's now a climbable rope affixed to the face of this skull.
I'm gonna tug on it. It's up to you if you want to go by yourself. I can carry you up too.
Well, let's see if I can do it.
Right. I'm gonna tug it and just kind of, like a classic dad looking up on it. That's not going anywhere. And step on back.
So you tell me what to roll here.
Yeah.
Because here's the funny thing.
So many.
Is there ice underneath, by the way?
Underneath you?
Like,
underneath you?
Underneath the skull, like right where she's climbing. Is there ice underneath the skull, or is that all stone?
It's stone. Underneath you, the floor is stone. The walls on the sides are ice.
They're too far away, though. It's okay.
So here's where it gets a little fun. My acrobatics is a +1.
Aye.
My athletics is a -1.
Oh.
So what shall I roll for this little ropey adventure?
I'll let you choose either. It's probably more so an athletics check.
We're doing
climbing.
athletics, homie. Let's go.
I can't think of
Let
any
me
way
go.
that you would acrobatics your way out of this.
No.
Do a trapeze
This
act
is-
or something.
Right? My 17.
17. After some effort, her little nudes, kind of, she kind of.
Okay. Make sure you breathe.
Breathing.
Asher's gonna go up to Aurelia and Rowan while we're watching Bree try to climb this thing and be like, you know, it just dawned on me. I could have probably just turned into a bird and carried her up there, but
I'm gonna do this.
She also could have misty stepped, I think, too.
I also think she can fly.
I think this is more she's trying to prove to herself. Like, she needs this.
You're right.
She needs the-
We'll just
I'm
let
pretty sure I could have just jumped and get it, but yeah, definitely let her do her thing.
She's doing good.
Asher's gonna be like, go up and be like, you're doing great, Briar. Keep it up.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
You look great, Briar.
After some
have to
time, you
make sure
do
we
get
kinda-
up there. The way the rope hangs, you would have to kind of swing over to the right a little bit more to get to that forehead where the crystal is. It's a rather large crystal too. You reckon it's probably pretty heavy. Like any amount of stone, no matter how light it is going to be pretty heavy when it's about the size of a child.
Neat. Can I try to swing-a-ling and get on top of it?
I would say
does
easy
it
enough.
jet
Yeah,
out of
you're
it?
able to kind of almost
Don't
wall
stop
ride
me,
as
no.
you. Yeah, I'm having a good time. Yes, and then you, after some time, kind of cling on to the crystal itself, and you're kind of holding there onto the crystal. It's like wrapped around just like this massive crystal right beside your head. What's your plan?
I'm going to move. I'm going to note that Rowan is going to move under if she were to fall.
Okay.
I will catch her.
Right.
I'm gonna work on identifying the whole crystal sitch. Yeah.
Okay, so you hang
my
on
life
to it
now.
for 10 minutes. You aren't really able to ascertain anything about the crystal itself. It does have some magical properties. They're faint and ancient.
Is there any text or scroll?
No.
No. So am I trying to pry it off now? What's the plan?
Yeah,
So, after I'm guessing that 10 minutes, Cole would kind of give a look to Aurelia and be like,
we should probably go up there and help her.
and start climbing up the rope.
Yep. For sake of brevity, we'll assume you're able to. And after some time, you get over to where she is as well, and are now able to have access to this. As you guys have waited around for a little while, that familiar rumble happens again, but this time a little bit more prolonged. You hear the off in the distance, and then the cavern shakes more than it has before. Bits of ice start to fall from the roof and the ceilings, even off onto the side above the little tomb places where there are the skeletal remains. The shards kind of and crash off further off into the room. Nothing necessarily dangerous in falling near you, but it is somewhat cause for concern. You hear that rumble off into the distance through the entrance as well. for a while.
Wow.
And then it
Wow.
stops. There's almost like a element.
So, hi guys, welcome to the Up Here Lands. Quick question. If we get this off, how are we going to use it to save Vonsalov? This is not super far from here, and this is really big.
Well, can it not fit into the bag of holding that we have?
It could.
Oh.
I would say it's
Okay.
big enough that you'd be able to squeeze it into the bag, the opening.
And
I
then,
think,
second question, since you guys are much stronger than me, am I still needed here?
well, absolutely. You're doing
Oh, okay.
heavy work. Like we're just here to support you.
Okay.
And
Would you
Cole's
like
gonna
us
flip
to
out
take it?
his. Cole's gonna flip out his spear and kind of shove it into the crack in between the stone
Okay.
and the skull, and kind of look at Aurelia to like make sure that she can like maybe support, because Bree's obviously holding on to the stone. Make sure that she doesn't fall.
When you're ready, we'll pop it out.
Roll and get ready to catch me, maybe. Thanks.
Alright. And I'm just gonna have my arms out, ready to catch her. Kind of having that wide stance. I'm
Roll an
gonna turn to
athletics check
Karan
on
while
prying that open.
they're doing that. I'm gonna turn to Karan and Asher. If you guys can, try looking around the room to see if there's anything of indication more on this.
18.
I don't know.
With 18, you start to pry it, breaking away some of the bone that it is inset in, and it starts to, and it is now a little loose, a little ajar in there.
I guess.
Readjusting, putting the spear closer or like in it more, getting ready.
This might take a couple of attempts, so everybody just stay on your tippy toes.
And go for another kind of scoop to try and break it loose, as long as everyone else is still ready.
Yep. We can let them resolve their search first before you continue.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Bree, don't let go of that crystal, okay? I'll
Okay,
catch
and
both of you.
keep an eye out for
Investigation, right?
guardians.
Yeah, with your investigation.
Investigation. Okay, so this is 17.
That's a 12. Asher's more worried about people falling off of the skull at this point.
Nothing strikes your interest too much. There are what you can assume are what's being referred to as the Guardians, is the entombed soldier skeletons that are remained in there, almost display cases of ice. They lay as if in caskets on a bed with an inset, like beds inset into the walls.
Like you're talking.
5 of them as well.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. I was like, we're talking like 5. We're talking like 30. There's a huge difference there.
They are notably larger as well. Like the skeletons seem to be of creatures that were larger. Humanoid, but larger humanoids. But not quite like a Goliath or giant size, so it's just like some kind of earlier...
5 of them are just
humanoid.
on one wall? Or are they...
they're just kind of spread
either
out
side?
throughout the room, yeah. Throughout
Okay. So it's like we can't just focus in one area. We'd actually have to like 360 the room to monitor all of them. Okay. Honestly, Ash, I'd say, if anything, we keep an eye on these in case they do something.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling about them being alive.
Sure. You mentioned about the bird earlier. Can you turn into a bird and be up there, hold Bree, bring her down gently?
I actually Burry, do you remember those larger ape creatures on the island?
Yes.
Have you ever wanted to be one?
Oh my god, are you going to turn me into a creature?
I
Do
mean,
it, you won't. Do it, you won't. Do it, you won't.
Cole, Aurelia, you might want to give her some space. And Asher is going to cast Polymorph on Bree and turn her into a giant ape.
Alrighty. You are now a big ooh-ah-ah. Yeah. King Kong climbing on a skull right now.
Well, Cool would still continue to try to scoop out the gem.
Easy enough with that last bit of effort. You pry it out, and the gem pops out ready to fall.
So, as a monkey now, like a big monkey,
Like
I'm
a
gonna
big
help.
monkey. Like a
I'm
big
gonna-
monkey.
and I'm gonna pull. I'm just gonna let myself go down because
Yep.
it's got a good athletics thingy. So,
At your size, you're probably what, like twice the size of Cole,
I'm a
right? How big is
huge
it?
beast.
Huge beast. Yeah, you're like 3 times the size of Cole almost, right? Yeah, you're big. You're real big. So you can almost just step off the skull.
Well, that's one way to get the stone down. Okay.
Asher's going to walk up to Bree and just like put his hand out and try to pat her on the head and give her scrunches on the head. And then once she's like, "Are you ready to go back to your normal size?"
Well, before you do that, Cool, me and I'm gonna look at Aurelia and be like,
Fiery one, you could at least let us down as well.
There's also,
'Cause we're still
keep
on
in
top of
mind,
this
she
skull.
does not have her brain right now. She is Big Monkey, doesn't know anything except her alignment and personality, but she does not have her like intelligence and
She's got a 7
ability
intelligence.
to communicate. She cannot understand your language.
okay, then never mind.
So yes.
Understand that.
Aurelia, Cole, mind unlatching that grapple before you guys come on down. If you guys can. I'll catch you early if you come on down.
Well, wouldn't you catch me, Rowan?
I can try.
Hey, just kidding, buddy.
Big dumb ape. Briar ape is you love to see it. Okay, so you're coming down with the crystal. As you remove the crystal from inside the inset in its skull, the pallor of the skull, the bone, while it was already almost a gray, turns more pale in this moment. And bits of decay shoot out, just slowly kind of crawl out from where the inset of the crystal was initially.
Is that normal?
I think we should probably keep an eye on it.
Alright. Let's get out of here.
After climbing down, there's a bit of a rumbling. Again, the walls shaking slightly. Different than last time, not from a source from far away. Not coming from the entrance of the cave, but almost within this chamber itself. The walls begin to vibrate. You see cracks forming. And the glass-like ice display cases of those entombed soldiers. Probably much like you had expected. with the crystal out of the skull. Cracks form at each of these windows and eventually shatters.
Before the ones closest to the door shatter, can I cast Shape Water on one of them to try to re-solidify the ice that's encasing it?
I don't think you would be able to re-solidify. It's not like it's melting in this case, so like you can't control ice necessarily. Once it becomes ice form, you cannot shape water something. You can wait for it to melt, and then you can. I'm pretty sure. I think we've discussed this before, but you can't just take ice and melt it. I don't think, not with shape water.
I mean, I know you can freeze. You
can freeze it, but then you have to wait for it to unfreeze. Like once you've frozen
I thought there was a manipulation of water in its H2O in its various
shape
phases.
Water.
That's my understanding.
Yeah. Because I feel like we had discussed this before at one point. The water unfreezes in 1 hour. You freeze water, provided there are no creatures in it. The water unfreezes in 1 hour. Yeah. So yeah, you can't necessarily just instantly unfreeze ice in this case.
Okay.
Or shape.
Yeah, I guess it's because I wasn't looking to. I was
ice,
looking to
yeah.
rebind it, but yeah. So that was the only thing that
not with shape water.
I would also like to note that as soon as they came down with the crystal, that it is now in the bag of holding.
Before you get to that, with the crystal, realizing, yeah, it's big enough to fit in the bag of holding. It takes probably two of you to kind of like one to open the bag and the other to put the crystal in. As you go to put the crystal in, just slight enough room on either side that it would actually fit, you feel this energy radiate at the mouth of the bag of holding. This very strange, almost as if it's like this opposite or same side magnetism that's happening as you like press it, go to like press it in, and you feel this almost warping energy. It feels like an unstable nuclear reaction kind of thing.
Well, that's not normal.
Yeah, should we not be keeping that in there?
I don't know.
I don't know if we have much of a choice.
No, I think we do.
Asher's like about to let Bree out back into human form and then see the ice cracking, and he's just gonna be like, she's gonna stay like this for a little bit because I think we might need someone strong.
Works for me. Is there any type of pattern to the as I'm assuming this is happening, we're hearing that rumbling again. Is there any sort of like rhythm or pattern of potentially like steps that maybe can signify that something's coming? I just want to see if maybe there is a rhythm to
roll a perception check. Sure.
I don't think that's a good one. Is a 14.
With the 14, it's really hard to determine if there was any kind of like pattern, as if it was like steps or anything like that. There is a certain randomness to the almost explosion that you're hearing off in the distance, but that last one was a little bit more unique, as if the rumblings were from closer, almost at the mouth of this tomb itself that's traveled within.
Well, something, I think, is getting closer. Someone, I don't know. But we should probably try to get out of here as fast as we can. Or maybe an alternative way. I'm gonna kind of... In the time that they've been in here, has anything looked like maybe another way out? Maybe through the mouth of the skull? Or...
No, doesn't seem to be anything leading directly from here. As those glass, or I guess rather ice, break, There's almost like within unison, all of the bodies begin to... And then slowly, each of them rise to a sitting position from each of them. Very almost methodically, left hand reaches over, grabs a shield. Right hand grabs the weapon. They shift over from their seats, begin to shamble towards the party. Let's roll initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. As far as like getting your weapons out and stuff like that, you would have had time as they shamble to do that and be prepared to now fight them.
Sure, wild shape before this happens, or
sure, if you'd like, yeah.
Okay, so he'll go from scratching Bree's head, sitting on her shoulder, to being like, attack those.
I would say within the time of them starting to get up and shamble and you realizing there's probably a threat here, you would have had time to do any kind of preparative actions, but not necessarily like hostile actions quite yet. That'll be an initiative thing, so we will get to that. Let me give you the screen to see, and then audience, you can also see what we might be looking at. I'm going to do a lower quality version just so that I don't make my computer really sad. There we go. No audio. Oops. Well, we're gonna do that again. Apologies, I just need to get my screens set up. Give you guys that old linky link. Maybe. Where's my link? Should
have known those things were going to be coming alive. As I kind of like back towards the party, I'm going to be pulling out my swords.
So I'm going to put the link in chat. Let me know if that link works. I don't know, because it's not the normal way that links are provided on this. Okay, we're going to end and reset that then.
Hey chat, someone roll me a d20. I had a good initiative,
exclamation
but
point D20
I'll let one of you guys do it. Yeah. I'll sacrifice my good initiative for...
There we go. Here is your guys' link.
Oh, that's actually not bad.
Oh, that's great.
Now the party can see what is going on, but let's make so y'all can see what's going on. All right. I'm just gonna leave it like this roughly, just so once we see, you guys can then kind of say kind of exactly where you would be within the room. But yes, you see 5 of them starting to shamble towards the party near the center of that skull. You can now see that on screen there.
So I think me and Karun would be switching places. Be more towards the front, towards them.
Okay. Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, by the sounds of it, like the way we were talking, it was like you guys were watching for that more than anything. So
yeah.
If you guys want to be closer up front, yep, probably almost beside each other, mayhaps. And you guys,
I'd probably still take the rank back if you want to put me there, because Karam would try to position himself so that he would have that whole 10 foot and someone.
Okay, would you want to go here, this one closer to the party? That's
probably fine.
We have our form here. So, yeah, because you guys had just come down from that. And monkey.
Yeah, Asher
Sure.
would have jumped down off of Monkey and Wild Shape, so probably like almost the hex in front of Bree.
Like this.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right.
And now Asher is a cave bear.
Cave bear. Noted. Okay, let me get your guys' initiatives. Karun. Everybody roll your initiative. Have it ready. Karun, Briar, Asher.
16.
16. 16. Rowan, Cole.
9.
21.
Aurelia.
10.
10. Rowan.
19.
19. Okay, Cole, you are first in initiative order. What would you like to do?
Yeah. Okay. So Cole seeing this guy directly in front of him, the furthest away.
This over here?
Give me 1 second. It's loading for me. Okay. See. No. Stop
This one?
moving it. I love you. Stop. Every time you move it, it takes a couple seconds for me to like load it in because it's so blurry.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
like
it's a
5,
little
10.
it's a little rough for us also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can try to switch it up to higher quality then.
The one to the left of the one that you have marked now, he is 55 feet away.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah,
this one.
Yes.
Let me bump
I
the
am
quality
going-
for you guys. I was just trying to save some of my resources.
Yeah, thank you. It's a little rough to see. Yeah.
Balanced screen. There you go. Is it up? Back up again?
Oh yeah, so much better.
Oh,
Yep.
much better. Oh yeah.
So much
Okay.
better.
No,
Okay.
no, I just got to do
Yes.
720p version. It'll help once we get a little bit closer too, so we can recognize who's who. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
So
large
yes,
scale here at this moment.
Throwing the spear to that guy that I just mentioned.
Yep.
We'll resolve that one really quick.
Okay. Would you like to move so that you're not throwing it through Karun? Because that would give you, I guess, almost cover that would make it harder.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead and move me closer to the enemy that is closer to the right, because I plan on using the rest of my movement to get in his face and do a flurry of blows.
Okay. So like about right here?
Right in the middle. In the middle of those two. Yeah. That's fine. Yep, that works. Is my math correct? It should be 55.
Oh, yeah, so it'd be 55 here if you go here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Just kidding. Why did it change so much going that way?
50. That's fine. 50's fine. 50's fine too. Okay. That was 13 plus 8, so 21 to hit.
21, I believe, does hit. 21 does hit. Go ahead.
Okay. Gosh, so much max. I love it. .28 points of damage.
Okay, 28 points of damage.
And
Yep,
I'm going
as
to use
you-
my movement to get to that second guy right there, and use a key point and do flurry of blows on him. to
Okey
the guy
dokey.
right in the middle of those two.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a 19.
19 does hit.
Okay.
Oops, I hate when I press that button. This one is that bad boy.
So Flurry of Blows is 2 unarmed strikes, so I'll roll for the second one.
Okay.
That one's going to be an 18.
18 hits.
Okay. 17 points of damage.
17 points of bludgeoning damage as you pop and aiming a little bit for the exposed areas underneath the armor of these fellows. You know what I never do with the tokens? I never give a nice close-up look of of the bad boys when they're in there. But these are the
any sigils on that?
Entombed soldiers. Sigils like what?
Just like kingdoms, out of curiosity.
Nope. Didn't seem to be.
Oh, heraldry.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.
Okay. Does that conclude your turn?
That does conclude my turns.
Alrighty, good solid hits with your little javelin and pop. Now it is Rowan's turn. Briar, you're on deck.
I'm gonna be rushing the guy in front of me. Directly in front of me, which is the 20 feet. Or 5, 10, 15
This
in
right
front
here?
of me. Yep. And I have already rolled my 3 attacks. First one, of course, is going to be using the superiority dice to trip it. But I did
Excellent.
roll a...
This guy is this one.
22 to hit, 23, and a natural 20.
Alrighty, roll your attacks, or roll your damage. Let me try to save off of this guy first. See which one this is. Okay, I'm gonna roll his saving. That's gonna save. That's 23. So the trip attack is not effective, but your damage sure will be.
For the fire damage, Holson, do I double that as well? Just double one of the dice rolls? Or do I max out on one of those as well, since it's a fire? I don't know. I've never really thought about.
Do you do
asking
what?
that question. So when it comes to the fire, so I roll 2d4.
Max
would
that
one
out
of
as
them
well.
max out? All right, max that out. Okay,
Max that as
so,
well, yeah.
so let's go 4 plus 3, 7, 10, 6, 16, and then 8, 15. Oh, Jesus, I need math. Math, hello. Math, hello. So 7, 10, 6, and then 8, 15, plus 3, 18, so 12, 14, so 44 slashing damage.
44 slash damage, is that it?
And then we have 2 fire damage, and then actually have to roll 2 more. 2d4s. So much damage. Okay, so 2.
Well, you did 3 successful attacks and one of them was a crit, so.
6. So 6 fire damage. And then 7 radiant damage.
Good solid hit. Okay, what else?
So it's not down. But I am going to remain where I'm at. I'm not going to move.
Okay. That brings us to Briar. Karun, you're on deck.
I'm going going in for 2 fisty ticks. The first one is a 19, and the other one's a 23.
Hold on, let's make this right. Who are you going for?
That close guy right over in the corner.
In the corner? Okay. Yep, I'd say probably easy enough with all your movement to get to that. Big monkey.
And Seth is gone.
Oh, okay, so there's that. Lovely. Sorry, when Discord gets foxy woxy, we lose him, so I've probably told him on phone ASAP.
So it's going. The first hit is 19. Does that hit?
19 does hit.
21 bludgeon damage.
21 bludgeoning damage to this guy, who is this one. And you smash.
Yeah. And then that also means my second one hits, because that's a 23.
That'll
Big
hit.
ol' monk fist for 23 bludgeoning damage.
23 bludgeoning damage.
And then I'm going to start picking fleas off myself and wait for my next turn.
Sorry, I'm trying to resolve with Seth. I'm going to text him. We run a show here. We're professional.
ISP issues, I believe, yeah.
Yeah, we were anticipating them.
Damn you, internet gods.
With the screens. Okay.
You bet.
All right. Anyways, what was their damage on that?
23 monkey
23
damage.
monkey damage. Nice. For a good, solid amount of damage overall for a monkey. And is that it? That takes us to Karun. Karun, your turn.
Right. Well, I would probably just come up right behind Rowan. And who is within 30 feet of me standing there? Is everyone?
Within 30 feet of you standing there. Enemies or friends?
Friends. Is everybody within range?
5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. Yeah. Not everyone, but I mean, these 3.
So Aurelia is the only one that I'm not hitting.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry. Bless.
Hi, Seth.
I will do that at third level. So it will hit, because I get 3 for level 1, and I get 1 for each level above, so I'll be able to extend to the 5 of us. So Aurelia will be the only person that doesn't get it. And then I'm gonna drop my spiritual weapon in the space that is in front of me. Cardinal directions, to the west, to the left, so that it's bordering the mob and Rowan in that little pocket right there. That's where
Okay. Like here?
Yes, exactly like that.
Exactly
and,
like that.
And that guy's coming in also at 3rd level.
3rd level?
And I will go ahead and do the attack on the one that Rowan is already at deck.
Okay, roll your attack.
That is a lot. This is 27. 2 hit him.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. And then it's negate. So that is 12 force damage. 12 force damage.
How much was the damage?
Damage was 12. 12
okay,
force
so that's
damage.
12. Right. Gotcha.
Yes.
So you're just attacking with the spiritual weapon. Gotcha.
Yes. I can't attack with my...
Gotcha. Alrighty.
Yet.
Dun, dun, dun. Is that it?
Yeah, I moved. I bonus stand action. So. And everybody's got the blessed notice with the exception of Aurelia.
Everyone but Aurelia. Speaking of...
She got this. She doesn't need
being
my
blessed, it is now their turn. This one is going to make some attacks as it whips around its sword to slash at this monkey. 18 to hit.
It hits.
22 to hit.
Yeah.
And 21 to hit.
Yeah.
17 slashing damage. 12 slashing damage. 12 slashing damage.
Okay.
So that's that one. Next in line. This one going to 3 attacks against Rowan. 16 to hit, that won't hit you. 10 to hit, that won't hit you. And 9 to hit, that won't hit you either. All 3 attacks.
Oh.
Missy.
Oh boy,
Oh
I am
boy,
going to
you gonna
use
do
a
a
superiority
yeah.
dice to hit it.
Oh boy,
I'm going to hit. Oh boy, I'm going to use Lionel's Blade against it. That was a 14 plus a dirty 20. Does a dirty 20 hit?
That'll hit.
And that is 10 slashing damage. And then 4 radiant damage.
10 slashing damage, 4 radiant damage. Okay, that's your little rebuttal to that.
Nice.
This one going to rush over here to Karan. Go ahead and do your attack because it has entered your range. If you would like.
Yes.
Up to you.
Yes, I do. I mean, technically, I'd hit it before I got to the space next to me.
Right, technically, yes. That range.
So,
okay.
Yep. Let's go ahead and do the attack. — 17.
17 does not hit.
Shit.
But with that, it is going to roll its attacks. That is a 19. That is a 19. And that is a 20.
No, they all hit.
Okay. 15 points of slashing damage. 16 points of slashing damage. And finally, 14 points of slashing damage. As this almost ancient, encrusted looking sword, gladius style, kind of slashes across the torso of Karan. Okay. Next in line, this one is going to attack Cole. I believe this one is that one. Okay. Yep. That's going to miss. That's definitely going to hit. 25. He's not here, so that's wonderful. But I'm going to attack him anyway. And 27. That'll probably hit, right? I don't think the 9 will. The 25 and the 27 will. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my damage. We're going to have to remind him to take it afterwards. Seth, hi. welcome back. Yes, you will be taking.
I can hear you. Yep,
14 points of slashing damage and 17 points of slashing damage. 14 and 17. Also, if you disconnect again, just jump on your phone with your camera, because otherwise we're fucked on cameras for a while. So, which has probably just happened. The quality is not going to work. Yeah, you got to get off the hotspot. You just have to do just directly from their phone. You don't even have to have the camera. Just turn your camera on to at least not fuck us. I'm just going to text him again because I don't think he can hear us.
There now.
It's not gonna work. Hotspot wise. Internets.
It ain't gonna work on KDPS if that's what you're getting.
Can you hear? Anyways, I'm going to move on from that. Just remember that he has to take that damage. This one is going to rush over to Aurelia. And that's going to be the last one. That will probably hit. That's a 20. That's a 22. And that is a 26. 18 points of slashing damage. Hi, baby. 17 points of slashing damage. 10 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
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 But that concludes them. Yes. It is now your turn, Aurelia, and Asher, you're on deck.
Okay, I am going to bonus action disengage from this person.
Goodbye.
And
Okay,
run
where would you like to go?
over to the guy who is attacking Cole.
Okay.
And take out my Hunter's Mark dagger and jam it up in between their ribs.
Alrighty.
And that's a 25 to hit.
That will hit.
Great, that's 31 points of magical damage. And they have Hunter's Mark on
31
them.
points of magical damage. Nice, good solid hit.
And that
Who
is my
this
turn.
guy? This is C. 31 points of damage as you jab it up into the ribbage. And yeah, nice. It is now Asher's turn.
Okay, so Asher is going to run up to the one that Bree is currently mauling and make his 2 attacks. The first one, does a 17 hit?
17 does not.
Okay, so that is my bite attack misses. The claw attack is a 15 plus 7, so 22.
22 does hit.
That's 8 plus 5, so 13, or yeah, 13.
13
damage.
points of damage. This one's looking pretty
And
hurt.
That's all I can do.
Okay. Last in the initiative order, as you fight along here, your old friend comes from the wall. He is going to, from this, where can he make it to? What's a movement? What is your move? Oh, fuck yeah, you can go anywhere. Psh, you got plenty of movement speed. Going to come over here to you. on this side and start to drain your life away. Your familiar, incorporeal, little ghosty boyfriend. There's a look at him. Wow. Yeah. Make his attack against Cole. Ooh, that was almost a nat 20, but that is a 22. He's gone again. I need to stop attacking him because he's not present. But anyway.
Just roll the damage and we'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, he also hasn't subtracted his last damage as well, I don't think. Seth, have you subtracted your last damage? Question mark?
Yeah, I have. I'm at 45 right now.
Oh, okay. It's just not updated on my end. You will be taking 15 points of necrotic damage as it extends its fingers out and attempts to drain some of your life. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, I rolled a 14. I'm still trying to figure out. I lost my character sheet as well, so.
Oh, okay, got you with your. So you probably have more than that on your. You rolled a 14. You saved. Your with your pluses, you'd be fine. Okay. You with that, yes, you are good. But that brings us to the top of the line. Cole, it is your turn. Rowan, you are next in line. But Cole, yes.
So for simplicity's sake, I am going to attack the guy that's in front of me 3 times.
Okay. Pop, pop, pop.
Okay, lowest is a dirty 20.
That'll hit all hits.
Okay, he's going to take 36 points of damage.
36 points of damage. This one's looking pretty hurt as well.
I am going to go ahead and use another key point to career blows.
Alrighty, go ahead.
That's a nat 20 and
sure.
A 23.
Alrighty, those will hit.
Can't take a picture of it because I'm on my phone right now.
You're fine. You're good. Roll your damage. Finish this guy. Finish him.
Okay. 16 points of damage.
16 points of damage with the pop, pop, pop. This one's looking really hurt. Nice, nice. That brings us to Rowan. Briar, you're on deck.
So my lowest roll was a dirty 20.
Good. Everything will hit.
So everything will hit. So
I will go ahead and roll my trip attack, I assume, or trip defense.
That is, you are exactly right. So that is.
So the other ones could be advantage if you do get that off first. So let me see if I fail first.
Okay.
16.
That passes. I think. Okay. Let me double check that. Yeah, I think it has to be a 15. Yep. Yeah. So barely passes.
Okay. Well. So it does pass. It is not tripped.
4, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 slashing damage.
15 slashing damage. Good, solid
hit.
It's looking pretty hurt.
I have 11 fire damage.
11 fire damage.
And
looking really hurt.
5 radiant damage.
5 radiant damage. You know what I forgot to do? Because it would have had 1 hit point left if I didn't multiply the radiant damage. So it is now dead. It just bursts into a pile of bones and ancient style armor. This one is dead with the multiplication of the... Yes. of the radiant damage
Awesome.
because it is undead.
Great. I am going to move to the other side of Karun.
Okay. Swoop. Swoop.
Yeah, just kind of around him, so there wouldn't have been an opportunity attack or anything like that.
Yeah.
So just for clarification, and that'll be my turn.
Okay. Next on deck, your turn. Briar, and then Karun, you're on deck.
So I have a question, not being a martial class and a monkey for the first time. Can I take this dude, and I have this thing called rock where I can chuck a rock, but can I chuck this guy's living body as like this huge monkey at another creature?
It would be like a grapple check. You would have to have it in your hands first. So it would be like a lot of actions before you get to that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's
All
not.
right.
It's just not practical to do that.
Right. I had to ask. All right, I'm just gonna
What
kill
a chicken.
We got a 26 to hit for 24 bludgeon damage.
26 will
With my
hit.
fist,
How much bludgeoning damage? Sorry.
24.
I'm trying to resolve our technical issues. 21, you said?
24.
24,
damage.
you said. This one's looking pretty hurt.
And then we hit with. I'm just gonna, I think this is gonna do it. So I'm just gonna boop it on the head and try to like drive my monkey fist all the way down to the ground.
All right, roll the
29
attack.
damage because that was 21 to hit.
21 hit, 29 damage. You slam down onto this, and like it's almost like you did a magic trick. Where did the skeleton go? You pull it back up. There's a pile of dust and bones and armor there. It is dead. Monkey's so confused. Where did his enemy go? Okay, next in line, Karun, your turn.
All right. So let's see here. We've got the one enemy that's here by us. There's the ghost by Cole, but those two are engaged right now, technically. And the other one that's further away. And that's how far away is Aurelia? Oh wait, no, never mind. This is 60 feet. We're good. We don't. Even
Yeah, you're good. It's plenty close.
Okay. I am gonna go ahead. That's still a bonus action, right? Yes. All right. So I'm gonna bonus action healing, mass healing word. I'll do mass healing word. That's gonna come out at level 4.
Okay.
So that is. Hopefully this is good. Hell yeah. All right,
Hell yeah.
That's gonna. I mean, it's still not really that much, but. So we got 7 plus 5. It's 12 plus. So it's gonna be 17 because everybody's within 60 feet. 17 HP if you are an elf or have elfish blood.
Okay.
I don't know how you want to rule that with Bree right now. And then everybody else is going to be getting 12.
I would say,
sorry.
Yeah, I would say
14.
While she's in ape form, it would probably just be normal health.
So 14.
Yes.
14 to
14
else.
to
17
you,
to the
Monkey.
elves, 14 to
Monkey
everybody
Bree.
else. Okay. And I really want to chance it. This is a little atypical, but Grun's doing different things. I'm going to go ahead and attack the creature that is right in front of me. And I'm going to get an extra D4 for that. Alright, so let's see. That is 19 plus 5 plus 2. So that's 26 to hit.
26 will hit.
Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead. It would have been nice if that was a crit. I'm going to expunge level 3 into it. into the spell, which will top it out because even though I'm not giving it as much as I could, it's undead. So it automatically gets hit with another die.
Yes, sir. Seth, every time you go on
good.
your phone, the cameras get fucked, just so you know.
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get my neighbor's Wi-Fi right now, so I can have it back on my computer. The only way to talk to him is through so every time I switch back and forth, I'm sorry. Give me just a little bit more grace, guys.
Hopefully you get the you got the coverage and the reception to go to your neighbor's house and have it. Yeah, best of luck. All right.
Anyways, what's our damage?
Back to maths. Back to maths. Yeah, I got to roll it out and add it. All right, so that one is plus. Nope, that's not 10. That's 12.
How's everybody looking? How are we doing?
Yeah. Could be better.
I'm having a great time. I'm just over here making monkey noises to myself, like
I see it
whole time. It's amazing.
And I'm doing smite and strike, so that'll add one more d8.
Okie dokie. D&D, the game of math, waiting for math. D&D.
I have the physical attack damage. That's 15. No, sorry, it's 12. So 12 physical attack
12
damage.
Physical.
And then I did 52 radiant damage.
Already doubled, right? Correct.
No. That's baseline. So it's 104 radiant damage. I did 52 is what the roll was, and then you got to do the necrotic multiplication. So.
It is obliterated. There's no sign of the bone left over. Just the armor just clanks to the ground. This rusted iron, anciently assembled. Yeah, he gone. He gone.
Spent a lot of resources.
Yeah.
Seeing the thing obliterate in front of me, Rowan's going to turn to Karun and say, "It's literally dust."
I don't like being hit.
I don't like being hit. Speaking of being hit, it is now their turn. This one going to, seeing that it has an ally over there, turn its focus to you to spread out the attacky wackies, and it's going to roll some attacky wackies. With that's 17 plus stuff, a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's a hit. 26 total. And 13 total on that last hit. We all know it's hit.
I'd like to use Uncanny Dodge on the one hit that did.
The one hit, there's 2 hits that hit.
Okay, I'll use Uncanny Dodge on the first one.
Okay. With that, it was 10 points of slashing damage on that first attack. So halved, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okie dokie. This last one, 14 points of slashing damage. With that, the next one in line. Turn its attention over here. Comes the difference between you guys now kind of encompassing each of you. It will roll its attacks against Cole. You know what, actually, let me choose here.
Do it. I'm here for right now. Let's do it. Let's go.
Here, let me just do it this way. Exclamation point D4. Right? D4. If it's 3 or 4, it's Cole. If it's 1 or 2, it's Aurelia. Exclamation point. D4. It's a 2. So Cole, you are the target. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I'm sorry. To Aurelia. Are you looking hurt, friendo? That's gonna hit. That's a 25. That's an 18. Does the 18 hit?
Yeah, it meets it.
18 and 23. How hurt? Because the first attack going to take you down. That's 13 damage. Points of slashing damage. With that, he's going to switch. Okay, he's going to switch his targets to you. Wait, no, you're just sleepy. You're just sleepy. He's going to switch those last 2 attacks to Cole. So Cole, the 19 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
And a 22 to hit. 19 doesn't hit?
22 does hit. Nope, I'm 21 right now.
How are you 21?
I did Fury of Blows, so I have Agile Parry.
I remembered we got that wrong. I'm sorry, but let me look into that because I know we got that wrong last time and turned out that you didn't, so I just want to make sure.
If you make an unarmed strike as part of an attack action on your turn and holding a Kensai weapon, you can gain a +2 to your bonus.
And holding a Kensai weapon. Were you holding your weapon?
My
Have
spear.
you retrieved your spear yet?
Yes, I've had my spear. I made 3 attacks with it. I didn't throw it this last turn.
With made 3 attacks with it, not Fury of Blows, right?
And I made Fury
of Blows. Let me see here. What is that ability called? Or what is that, whatever feature called? He's frozen again. Love it. Let me find that. At the start of your next turn. Okay. All right. Seems. What has happened? He's gone, so he won't be able to do this anyway. But we know his AC is 21 right now, right? So there's that.
At least his picture's still there.
Technical, yes, for now, for the moment. Love the technical issues. 22 does hit, so 19 doesn't, 22 does, and 22 again. Anyways, somebody write this down so we can tell him after when he gets back. 15
I'm putting
points
it in the group chat so he can.
Okay.
15 points of slashing?
Yeah, 15 points of slashing damage, 16 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Which I don't know if that puts him down or not. I don't know where he's at.
No, he's good. He's fine. He's fine.
Okay. Alrighty, with that, we turn to... Are we 100% sure where he's at? Because on my end, it's
he
showing...
Just went down. He just went down. Yeah.
Different numbers.
He just went down.
To what? What's he at currently?
He's at... It hit him for 31, which he has 30 HP right now.
So he has 30. So he is down. Okay, I was going to say, because if this creature were to attack him, he would be dead. Because it is a part of its ability. So
he is. He's at 31. He got hit for 31. He only had 30 HP left.
Then this guy is going to turn his attention to the folks over here. Technically enters your range. Go ahead.
Yep. All right. Hell yeah, that's a nat 20.
Nat 20, roll the damage.
Wasn't he at the bottom of the initiative order?
Oh, you're right. Just kidding. Recanted.
I wasted my nat 20.
I was getting excited.
No.
Sorry.
Asher
Let
will
him
pass
save
her.
Let him save that one. Let him save that one.
Unfortunately, I don't know. A lot of different things are going to change before we get to that. So, speaking of things that are going to change, Aurelia, what's up? How you doing?
Yo, dog, I'm down.
Yeah,
You're down?
Both of them are
Right.
unconscious.
I'm
Both
down.
of them.
Okay, Asher, it's your turn then. Make it
Okay.
a
You
want me
death
to roll
saving
a
throw.
death save?
Yeah, you might want to do that. Make a death saving throw.
We Gucci.
Wait, like you nat
First-
20 or you just
No,
passed?
it's
Successful.
15.
First
It's
successful death saving
Passes.
throw. All right. What's your turn, boy?
Seeing those guys go down, Asher is going to charge at this ghost and make 2 attacks. Bless is a D4, right?
What's your movement speed?
Bless is a D. Yeah, just roll a D4 when you do any attacks or savings.
Yeah, I haven't been doing that.
What's your movement speed as a bear?
As a bear is 40 feet.
Should be good. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Yep.
Okay, so the first attack, this one's probably gonna miss. God damn it, where's Caper? It's +7, so that's gonna be 6 + 7 is guessing doesn't hit. 13. Yeah,
13 does hit, actually.
Oh, okay. 13 and then 17 plus stuff, which is gonna hit. So that's gonna be 2 + 5. So that's 7 damage on the first attack. That's magical damage because wild shape.
Is that declared as magical damage in wild
It's
shape?
wild shape attacks are considered magical for the purpose of
overcoming. Excellent. Okay, that is a factor in this boy.
That's
welcome back, Seth. You have damage to take.
11 + 5, so 16 damage on the second one.
16
Also magical.
damage. Awesome.
You're,
Magical.
You gotta roll a death save on your next turn.
Who?
You are
Me?
downed.
Yes.
Yes, you had 30 HP and you took 31 points of damage.
Well, I didn't get the heals from Karan. That's not.
That's because that has not happened yet. Oh, are you talking about the first one I did?
Yeah, mass heals.
Okay, so then you would have gotten 14 HP from that.
So he's at 13 HP.
Yes. So never mind. You are not down, but you have 13 HP. That does change things, because now this guy is probably going to attack him. And hopefully you do not die, because if...
Did that amount of damage do anything to this ghost?
It's looking hurt as much as a ghost can look hurt, as you have seen
This
before.
is the same ghost that
This is the same guy. I already did subtract some health. He did have some time to recover, kind of like you guys did. But now that he's got all of his companions, he has come back. But yeah. That brings us to him.
Asher did just maul him with a bear.
You did just maul him with a bear. Let's just roll it again. Is he going to change his focus? 1 or 2 is Cole. 3 or 4 is Asher. Exclamation point D4. I guess I could just do D2. It's a 2. It's Cole. I rolled a natural 1. I will just meta here. If this attack kills you, or downs you, you're dead. If it downs you,
it insta kills on it.
It insta kills on it. If the target dies, if this effect, reduces its hit. Never mind. Just kidding. I misread that. It would still hurt, but no, you're not dead. Yes, but it does miss. So there's that. Coming back to the top of the line, Cole, it is your turn.
Okay, can you describe the battlefield to me? I'm sorry.
Oh, you cannot see. You have enemies, 3 enemies around you. You have 2 of the Skelly boys and the Wraith boy behind you. Right beside you is Aurelia, downed. She just passed her first death saving throw. Behind the Wraith is Asher in bear form.
Okay, I'm gonna use my action and cast the Guardian Spirit spell that is in my store spelling.
Okay.
All three of them need to make a Wisdom save of DC 16, please.
Wisdom save.
That's what that's there for.
One fails. Another fails. That's a 10 and 11. Lastly, the Wraith Boy going to make its save. That will succeed. That's a 20. Dirty 20. But these two boys fail. What is the damage for that? Is it a dex saving throw? Question mark.
It
is full or half for it.
What is the saving throw? Oh wait, we already made that. Okay, we already made the wisdom saving throw. Got you.
The ones that failed are going to take 4d8, and the one that succeeded is going to take 2d8.
Okay.
No. Roll 4d8, and then it takes
4d8
half
or full. So just 48.
Okay.
Oh, and
this
is radiant damage.
That is 19 points of damage.
19 points of damage doubled. We are looking at 48 question mark 38
38
mark? Yeah, 38 points of radiant damage. This one bursts asunder. The other one has not really been attacked, but he will take 38 points of radiant damage.
And the Wraith will take 19, right?
Yep, it'll take full damage because
yes. Okay, so it takes 19. It just goes back to the 19.
Yes. Full damage, not double damage.
It is undead. 19. With that, the Wraith busts into an ethereal mist and dissipates into dust particles. One guy left. Rowan, your turn. Briar, you're on deck.
All right. So I'm cutting through. And I'm gonna just yell, "Hang on!" And no. I'm going down. So I'm going from where I am. I'm gonna take 20. Yes, I'm going right there. I'm gonna spend an action to pick Aurelia up.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick her up, and I am going to move her towards Karan.
Okay.
And I'm wearing my boots of speed, so it's double the movement. It only took me 25 feet to move there, so I got 50-ish.
When you're carrying somebody, you have half movement again, though.
So 50, half of that, 25, so 25 feet the other way.
Here is where you were? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25? What's your movement speed when you...
Now it would be 25 going back.
Now 25 going back.
Going back. Yeah, so Aurelia,
you would have to technically enter the space that you are. To do so would evoke an opportunity of attack on you. It doesn't seem her, but...
Oh, okay. If that's the case, then I'll go ahead and I'll make 3 attacks against it.
You're going to make 3 attacks against its opportunity of attack? Or what do you mean?
No, if it's going to invoke an opportunity attack, if I had to get into her space, which I wasn't sure if I had to pull her away. So I'm going to take her opportunity. I'm going to attack it, so it doesn't
rather
invoke
than pick her up?
Correct.
Okay,
I'm going to action surge and pick her up and move her. No. I'm picking her up on my action surge and moving her out. So I'm doing an
attacking first and then action surging. She's going to try and kill it and then get the fuck out.
GTFO.
GTFO.
Let's go. I think it's everything's +6. Ooh, okay. Well, my lowest roll is a 19. Does a 19 hit?
19 does hit.
So that is my lowest roll, so I do get to roll 3. And let's just, for funsies, another tripping attack. So I'm gonna let you do that before I finish. If it doesn't pass, I get advantage, right?
For the trip attack? Yeah, let me roll the trip attack. Wrong guy. That's the other bad guy. This guy. That is a 12 on the trip attack.
It is down, so then I get advantage on those attacks. No, that wasn't fun. I mean, it's better, but I still hit it, so, but, regular attacks. So, man. I'm also gonna safely say that Rowan's figured out that radiant damage is doing more damage, so he's gonna attack two times with his Limeal Blade rather than his Flame Tongue this time around. So, let's see. 6. So 12 plus 7, 19 plus 4 is 24 slashing damage.
24 slashing.
Yep, and then we'll do 3 fire damage.
3 fire damage.
And we'll do 6 plus 4, 10 radiant damage. So that would be 20 radiant damage coming his way.
20 total. It's looking pretty hurt now. But
I'm going to action surge with my Boots of Speed. I'm going to provoke the opportunity attack on myself, because I think it has disadvantage still to take the opportunity attack against me.
Yep.
So I'm going to take it, not Aurelia, and I'm moving my last 25 feet towards Karan.
25 feet towards Karan, which is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Do you want to get like right next to him, or?
Yeah.
Basically plop her down right there. Okay.
And then it can do an opportunity attack if it wants to, but if it does, it's a disadvantage.
It certainly does want to try.
That
is a 21 to hit.
That does hit me.
15 points of slashing damage. You make your attacks, right. It retaliates as you scoop up Aurelia, you turn your back slightly, and it catches you along the side as you rush away with Aurelia. But that brings us to Briar. You are up. Karan, you're on deck.
I'm going to monkey over to the monster, and the first attack is an 18 to hit.
It is also still prone, so if you want to roll that with advantage. No, yes, technically it's still prone because it hasn't had its turn. Yes, so advantage.
Okay, so I'll post my photo, but the second hit is a 20.
20 will also hit.
That was sorry, that's a nat 20. So we are
20. Okay.
Yeah, so I rolled that damage. That's 41 damage on the monster.
Once again, confused monkey, after smashing the other one, turns and sees the other of these skelly boys, rushes over, and then slams, lifts its hand up again, and it is just dust. That will conclude initiative with that.
Are we out of
to run?
You are now out of combat. All of them.
I'll immediately use Preserve Life, and I'll put 35 HP into Aurelia and 12 into Cole.
I'll go ahead if you're all right with it. I will use my Cure Wounds, my level 1 Cure Wounds that I have in my stored ring as well, on myself as well. I don't know what do I need to roll for that. Wrong.
Oh, for Cure Wounds. So for level 1 Cure Wounds, you're just going to roll 1d8, and you're going to
plus
add
5. I think that was my Cure Wound, which I think our modifiers are the same.
Yeah, the modifiers are the same, I think, for you and I. And my Near Minion Aid doesn't apply with a spell that's stored. That's only if I'm literally the one casting it.
Crasher's gonna pop out of wild shape and look to Bree and be like, "Good job. You're gonna get." And he'll kind of look around real quick, make sure there's no other threats, and then he'll drop the polymorph.
Briar's back.
How are you feeling, Briar?
I've got the weird craving for bananas now.
How are you, Aurelia?
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
You're safe.
All right.
You're safe. We're good. We're good. And I'm gonna put my hand out to help her up. Gonna dust her off. Let's get the hell out of here, huh?
I've got a little more in me. But rather than top off, we should probably just try to leave and we'll deal with what we have to deal with.
Since we came this way, I'll lead the way out. Since Rowan's looking pretty ripe, with my swords out, I'm going to lead everybody out on edge for anything else.
As you resolve to kind of recover from the combat within the tomb, you feel the rumbling begin again within the tomb. Ice from the walls crushing in, and just the slightest bit of a spurt of water pouring into the room.
Before we completely leave and before that, would Cole be able to get some of the bone off of the old Titan that was?
Sure, go ahead. The chamber is now rumbling. So in the midst of this, you were trying to do that. You would probably had time to break that off and retrieve some bone from this giant skull.
How long?
Karan, as you try to, I imagine, shape water. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to stave off that flow. Mm-hmm.
Yes. You see as the water starting to pour out, just kind of freezes with his shape water as he freezes it. But then beside it, another. It's like a stronger gush goes to freeze that as well. You now realize that the walls are starting to cave in. Some of the roof falls down. It is time to GTFO.
I can't stave this off. We need to go now.
Keep going.
This is worse than the ship.
We're running.
Asher will help basically everyone get out. Make sure everyone who's hurt gets out.
As you make your way up through the tomb, now seeing some of the walls crack alongside you, trailing along with you, we are going to do a skill test. Remember those?
Oh, yes.
Remember those?
Episode 3.
So each of you come up with a thing that you were doing, a skill check that you were doing, and how it would help you as you make your way through each of these rooms. You feel that behind you, up ahead, all around you, the tomb is attempting to entomb you. You feel that rumbling closer up towards the entrance, the mouth of this whole tomb.
Well, I think I have plenty of key points left. I would probably use my Step of the Wind to help use dash and get ahead.
Okay. So what is your skill check? You still need to roll a skill check for that.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics, go ahead and roll your acrobatics check, Jim.
Since I'm going to probably be dodging a lot of stuff falling down, which can cause a little bit of uneasy ground to walk on, I'm going to be rolling acrobatics as well for my dex.
Okay, sure.
As I'm running through.
Give me your rolls.
$23 for mine.
23. What's your roll on acrobatics, Seth?
I rolled a 5. I'm not entirely sure what my plus is to acrobatics.
Give me a second. I'll get you. It is.
Yeah, somebody pull up his sheet if you want. You can even kind of just roll for him when he needs to.
It's an 8, so you got a 13 on acrobatics.
13 on acrobatics. Rowan, as you begin to rush forward, some of the walls kind of caving in, some of the pillars in the different chambers falling down before you. You enter that stone, the chamber with the statues, some of the statues even falling over onto you, having already formed back up through the floor of the puzzle that you had solved. You dodge over that. Cole, you kind of watch him do that. You're swiftly moving left and right, dodging through those, making sure the team behind you is okay. You see them rushing forward. One of the statues stumbles, falls in front of you, and you almost roll over, and it slows your movement a little bit. What is anyone else doing?
I think the best that Run could come up with, keeping within the purviews of the skills definitions, would be a perception check.
Sure. What are you looking for? How's it going to help you?
Basically,
so also, Hannah, you're new to this, but the skill check is you just come up with a skill check and a reason why it makes sense that you're doing it. If you, yeah, okay, so you got it.
Karan would be trying to keep a lookout ahead.
Failures. Yes.
Karan would try to keep a lookout ahead just to see if there is anything that he could perceive that they would encounter when they get there, so as to best anticipate it and not be impeded by anything that might fall in their path, something like that, fissure in the ground, something.
Got you. What you see ahead is in that next corridor from the statue room, the one before that, the one with the hand statues that you had to do that puzzle with. You see that corridor is closing off. There's this tight little space ahead of you. You realize, like, you gotta hurry and get to that and do something about that. So roll your perception, though, with that.
Okay. It's 22.
With the 22, yeah, you divulged that to the party. The entrance is closing, essentially. And what are you doing? Right.
Hearing. Would you have communicated that, Karan?
Yes, that's part of his perception. Yes, is
okay.
to take.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
So would stone shape be good here? You touch a stone of medium size or smaller. And like
yeah, roll an Arcana check for that if you would like. That can be your check.
Arcana would be great. 19.
You will also, is stone shape cantrip or is that a spell?
No, it's a spell.
Okay, so if you are going to do that, you would also have to cast that as well. Yeah.
So 26.
With the 26, you make your way to that. They're almost trying to, like, the rest of the party trying to dig that out. You press the stone. There's ice and stone. Fortunately, a lot of it is stone. You press that opening becomes bigger. That is a success on your part. Aurelia, what are you doing? And Asher, what are you going to do as well?
I am going to use my investigation to watch kind of how Karan was doing it, but to watch the ceiling, to watch for any like flaws or cracks that start to like give way.
Gotcha. Falling debris, roll your investigation. You can also roll the same way as other people, so if you want to make that perception instead, you can do that as well, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. That's a 26.
This is 26. With that, yeah, you were able to, as you guys are kind of running and dodging different things, you kind of are able to point up and look at a falling piece of debris that alerts the other party. They're able to avoid that as you make your way through to the next room. What are you doing, Asher?
Would Asher be able to use survival to maybe map out a route, the quicker route?
You can try.
That's an 18 plus 8. So
18 plus 8.
Yeah, 26.
Yep, with that, you're able to... Sorry. How does that help? There is only one entrance as far as you can tell. You're not able to just discover a new one as far as you can see. Making your way into that next room, You realize that now that chandelier of those ice crystals, the hand statues have broken and crumbled. You realize going directly underneath that might be dangerous, and so you basically inform the party to go around that. It's not quite as efficient. It's not a straight path, but seeing that and what you do realize as you give that bit of advice is that it was good advice. That chandelier falls from the ceiling, and with that, those crystalline creatures begin to move and animate. The crystals that were a part of that chandelier sprout arms from the crystal, sprout wings, and form this crystalline impish figure. Look around the room. What are you doing? Somebody.
We're running through it, right? Go ahead.
But what are you doing
while we're running through,
you're still part of the obstacles of this room as well. So,
could like to throw a spear and try to take a couple out, knowing that obviously it's going to come right back to him. Yeah. Dirty 20.
With a dirty 20, without rolling damage, you chuck your spear and it shatters one of these little ice imp type creatures. Immediately pull your spear back, but what are you doing to help the party skill check wise?
Yeah, you.
Yes, we can skip to other people too as well. If you're not ready, you can come up with somebody. If anybody has something that they would like to try to do, go ahead.
I'm going to Misty Step to the other side of the monsters, the crystalline monsters, and try to get their attention over to me so the rest of the party can run past.
Roll a persuasion check?
I was
or
just
intimidation? I don't know.
Throw a guiding bolt at one of them.
It's gonna be some kind of check. So. Yeah, performance. There you go. Whatever you would like.
17.
17 on.
Performance.
17 on performance. Okay. With that, you do seem that you get two of their attention. There are now 2 others left remaining from this group. Wait, 3 others left. So there are 6 total. One of them died. 2 of them avert their attention to you, and through the rubble and the wreckage that's kind of encompassed this thing this chamber, they make their way over towards you. Anybody else?
I would probably throw it, but...
Go ahead.
No, it's just the same thing as I called it. I'll just shoot a guiding bolt at one of the ones that are not distracted. That's it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your guiding bolt.
And I'll shatter one of the others. That's a con save of 15 for whatever one I try to shatter.
Okay.
And I got a 24 for my attack.
That succeeds on the con save. 24 for your attack.
No. If it's made out of crystal, it rolls with disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
Still gonna save.
Okay.
It's a natural 14 plus stuff on the con.
Okay.
So half damage.
That is
6 shatter damage.
Okay. With that, another one of these just bursts into dust. They are little minion boys, so it doesn't take a whole lot.
13.
Is our entrance blocked right now or anything like that?
Does not up ahead. Nope. It's probably getting to that point, but you're kind of rounding around the sides of it. Aurelia on the left side, you guys around the right side. The debris just coming down in the center. Some of it on the sides. You're trying to avoid that, and you're trying to get over to that back entrance where you came from initially.
Okay. I know what I'll do then to help the party is I will hold my 3 charges and my new ram ring. And in doing so, I can use a strength check.
Yep.
And it's a plus 5 extra for every charge.
Go ahead.
It'll actually just be straight strength. But automatically, it has a plus 15 already.
Okay.
So that is.
So we'll just go ahead and mark that as a success for you.
32.
You will
32.
slam through any. You give the party an ample amount of time with you just clearing through debris with that ram ring, and your guys are right there by that entrance after just slamming through all of the rock and rubbish. With that, you see as some of the walls break in, this room is flooding in with water from the surrounding river.
Rowan
Closer
will take
to
a wide berth
behind you where it came from. But go ahead, Rowan.
Rowan's going to take a wide berth, and he's going to have his swords out and kind of do a glazing attack, if you will allow one attack for whatever ones that are remaining.
Sure.
Just basically running by and just taking my swords. And
just attempting to, yeah. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Yeah, and then I'll roll 3 attacks.
With you going against them, they will roll their attacks with a disadvantage, because they will get reactions from that.
14, 18, and a 16 plus all plus 6. So my lowest roll is going to be a dirty 20 to hit.
Excellent.
On all
they
of
will
them.
all miss with their, all but one will miss with their reaction attacks, but with that, it is.
Yeah, I don't even have to roll. Like,
yeah, it's 6 points. Yeah, you're good. They all. One of them gets a strike in at you as you rush through.
With that, I'm going to use one of my last. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to even do it just for flair because it would be riposte. I'm just going to kick it and just keep running.
Honestly, actually, technically, its reaction would be after you had already made your attack. Technically, so yeah, none of them even get their attacks in. So no damage for you. Yeah.
Okay.
So, for a clarification, we're all trying to escape. This room is filling with water. Where we're trying to escape from, I guess this will be a perception check. How wide is that, our escape door?
That hallway, it's the hallways that the Wraith was initially going through. It's
Yeah, wasn't that pretty narrow?
It was pretty narrow, yeah. It was just one person comfortably. 2 people would be kind of a tight shoulder-to-shoulder squeeze to get through there.
Okay, so I'd like to do a perception check while everybody's trying to run through, because my intent is once everyone's through, if there's no water coming in through the hallway, I want to use my final stone sheep to block this door.
Gotcha.
To stop the water.
Okay, sure. Roll your perception.
Okay. 16.
With a 16. Yeah, you... After all of the party makes their way out of this room and into that next area, what you see is as you stone shape seal off some of that water that's forming, you take a breath, sigh for a second, the walls beside you start to crack. Water leaks in from there. Water leaks in even up ahead. This entrance from where you guys initially entered and Murdoch said, hey, this is the furthest we've gone. You are now at that point heading your way back up. From what your recollection is, a good ways to go as far as the rest of the,
break time's over.
Asher is going to wild shape, basically charge behind whoever's in the rear to throw him on his back, so he's got 60 feet of movement, and he's going to use a strength check to just ram whatever's in front of them. 18
Rowan will
plus
be
4.
Okay.
Rowan's going to be taking up the rear. He's got 160 feet of movement. So I'm not worried about it with my boots of speed. I know, because I'm going to be using my dash action most of the time. But I will go ahead and just take the rear. I'm going to use a perception on keeping an eye on how close that thing is going, kind of gauging who's behind me, to kind of usher them to go faster, and if I need to, pick them up and go. But I'll just roll a perception for that. That is an 18 on perception.
18 on perception. What you do see is that ahead of you, it's almost like the cracks and the water coming in is going faster than the pace that you guys are even able to keep. At this point, you're walking through some puddles of water as this next chamber. Fortunately, what you do know is that this whole tomb, what you've kind of perceived, does have a slight gradient in it. But you do realize that you guys are losing that battle of the waters coming in. But you feel that you are coming up closer with all of those successes after some time, dodging through the debris and water plunging, rushing into this tomb. You make your way to that mouth entrance where Murdoch first initially introduced you all to his digging crew. What you notice when you encounter this room, the closer you got to it, that rumbling and all the stuff following behind you has kind of slowed down, and near the mouth of the cave, just little pebbles fall, this last chamber not collapsing in on you. But you notice that all of the equipment, all the people, Murdoch himself, have all fled from the place. They took their treasures and have left. They've left only just a few makeshift shelters and some of the tools and things that they didn't. They took their treasures and ran.
Out of breath, I'm gonna kind of put my hands on my knees and... How are we all doing? Good. Good.
Do we need to keep running?
I'm gonna look behind me. Are we still in immediate danger?
Doesn't seem to be at this moment. The closer you got to this last stretch, the breaking and stuff, it doesn't feel safe, but it doesn't feel like you're in immediate danger.
I think we need to get off this lake or river or whatever.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go. Right.
Roll perception.
Anybody? Can anybody roll?
18?
16?
Yeah. Anybody.
18.
Just faintly with those rolls, faintly outside, you hear a commotion, recognized as some of perhaps some of the voices. They sound a little bit hurried. Just faintly further off in the distance, outside of the entrance of the cave.
Okay, so we can't tell if it's north of the entrance, south of the entrance. It's coming in from
the entrance, that fabric that they had over top of the mouth of the cave slash temple slash tomb.
Look out and see.
The ruckus picks up,
Let's keep going.
and you feel over top of you the that rumbling is beginning again. The head of this cave now falling over top of you. Getting out? Getting out.
Yeah.
Yes, you make your way out of the door. Just as you make your way out of the door, the mouth of the cave crumbles in. That fabric just loosely laying. You almost have to dive out as you make your way out of the exit. Fortunately, not raining icicles right now. The fog, somewhat there, always persistent. You see a new structure formed before you, though. Arching over from the mouth of this cave, two arches formed into the ground on either side, kind of forming these pillars at the entrance of the cave. Looking about, you see people scattered about. Those dwarves further off in the distance, scattering away with their bags of items and treasure. You see as one attempts to pick up his bag, one of the diggers turns, looks at that massive structure, and you now see as that structure that you thought were pillars and archways is a fist, reaches out, grabs and encompasses the entirety of this dwarven figure, crushes and drops, and you see his trinkets and treasures drop from the grasp of this massive ice crystal hand. And with that, we're going to take a break. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for sticking around. We're gonna do another little bit of combat after this, mayhaps, and yeah, we will be back with the season finale, the show finale of Legends of Aelos. All right, stick around, guys.
Why did you phrase it like that?
Wait, why'd you say that? Why'd you say show finale? Why'd you say show finale? The finale of the Fated 5, guys. Let's go! All right, stick around. We're gonna be back in 12 to 15 after this little break.